Alright, so I guess that we're live. Well, not that anyone's here, but hey, let's get started, shall we? Alright, so this should be fun. I have played far too much of this game. Alright. I need to find a way to hide the preview on the other screen. It is going to be so distracting. Or I'll just get used to it. That is probably the substantially more likely scenario. Humans are very good at ignoring things that don't matter. And ignore things that do matter. Oh, do I take it? I mean, I got it, right? I mean, ideally you get an ego later in the run. But I mean, first stage ego is going to be an interesting experience. Oh, now I'm almost regretting getting the ego because I'm gonna lose one of these eventually. Okay, well, let's hello, welcome to a stream that I have no idea what I'm doing in. Yeah, just today we're just going to be playing some Risk of Rain, which is traditionally not a particularly relaxing game, but I have like 450 hours in it, so I basically don't have to think while playing this, so welcome. Welcome. Yeah, just if you want to talk, talk. If you don't want to talk, don't talk. My favorite type of stream. If you have any questions about the game, any questions about Pathfinder, I'm down for anything. Really, I don't have anything going on tonight, which is why I thought, you know what? Let's just stream some stuff, why don't we? Now, okay, yeah, I don't want that. Can't get too good lunars. Yeah, still got a bit of time. Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, Risk of Rain is honestly one of my most played games. It is my go-to. I don't know what to do right now, and I want to watch a video, but I can't pay attention to a video if I don't have something going on. Free archetype, I am totally for free archetype. Although there definitely are situations where I do think that like it needs a little bit of moderation, because they're definitely not all archetypes are made equally is effectively the problem. So basically it depends on your group, because generally speaking, yes, I am for free archetype, but if, say, one person in your group is a bit more of a power gamer, and they take, like, basically what I'm trying to say. I made a video on this. I should be a little bit, I should be better at wording what I'm trying to say. Is that not all archetypes are made equal, and if someone has a cool character concept for like, oh, I want to play an archaeologist. Unfortunately, the archaeologist archetype is just not as strong as, like, the rogue multi-class archetype. So then that will create a little bit of a power disparity within the group, because getting access to rogue feats is stronger than getting access to some cool archaeologist stuff. And that's pretty much true for every single archetype that gives spells, or anything that gives I'll die already. Anything that gives spells or access to different class feats. Like, I think it's the Sentinel or Bastion that gives access to heavy armor proficiency. That feat, or that archetype, is really strong because heavy armor is really good. But then I don't know, like the celebrity archetype doesn't give particularly strong abilities. So, like, in terms of combat, it gives some fun RP stuff, but even that isn't, like, game-breaking. So, basically, archetypes aren't made equally, so just talk with your group on what is actually appropriate for the level of min-maxing in your campaign. I think that, honestly, the best situation for free archetype is a campaign where everyone gets the same archetype, where it's like, oh, well, let's try and play some, like a pirate campaign. Okay, everyone gets the pirate archetype. Therefore, everyone is just as much of a pirate as each other, and you don't have to give up any of your actual, like, class feats to be a better pirate. Everyone is an equally good pirate. Basically, free archetype is good, but like pretty much any rule that improves players, you gotta be a little bit careful with how you give it. Really, I think one of the best implementations of free archetype that I've seen is the Strength of the Thousands adventure path, because yeah, that's good. Because every character gets access to the wizard or druid archetype, meaning that everyone gets access to spell casting, everyone fits in with the flavor of the campaign. And yeah, that's just fun. Those are roughly equivalent in power. Of course, we gotta do the mountain shrine. I'm always down to make bad decisions. Let's see. How much is this costing? Okay, so like 60, okay. We're on track. Lost the glasses. That sucks. Okay. Oh, sweet. Got more glasses. In case you didn't know, the general premise of this game is get items that stack infinitely. They are strong. Go through stages. It's not a particularly complex game when it comes down to it. Oh, and yeah, I am unsure whether or not I want to GM Strength of Thousands or if I want to play in it, because I've heard generally good things about it. It's just a cool concept for an AP. I don't know, it just seems fun, but there are so many APs that I want to play in that I'm never going to be able to play through all of them. Like, oh, I'm going to be playing through Outlaws of Alkenstar. I'm currently playing in Abomination Vaults and Agents of Edgewatch. I don't know, it's... And then I'm also playing Carrion Crown and 1E, and I don't know. I can never play enough Pathfinder, but I also know that there's just not enough time in the week for me to play all the Pathfinder I want to play. Although the good news is, with the way that 2 adventure paths work, I get to play through a lot of character concepts. Every once in a while in APs, you just run into an encounter like, what were you thinking, Paizo? Like, I get why that situation happens in, like, say, Age of Ashes. I have not played it. I would like to at some point, like every AP, but I've heard that it's super hard, but like, yeah, they were working on playtest rules whenever they were actually designing the encounters, so of course that's going to be a bit finicky, as you could say, in the encounter design department. But for stuff, there are some encounters in like Agents of Edgewatch that are just so brutal. I mean, of course, high level one. High level encounters are always going to be brutal because, like, once things have access to disintegrate, a stray crit can just kill you. But there are some encounters that I have been in that we ran into, and then the GM realized, oh no, you cannot win this. If you guys want to run, I fully support that, because this will TPK your entire party. And just from a sheer stat block side of things, just this is an unkillable thing. Actually had a near TPK yesterday because that's fun. Although that was a much more reasonable encounter in my mind. Still insane, but it was a near TPK because we were at the end of our adventuring day and half the party was drained 4. So, like, that's a very reasonable near TPK. I am going a little bit slow. God, I would love a cleansing pool to get rid of some of these egos. The good news is that this Beetle Queen is going to get destroyed. Do I actually... I don't think I have any kill-off items. Oh. Get a lunar coin back. Sweet, get rid of the fireworks. Oh, favorite class? This I feel is a little bit of an unusual take. Swashbuckler. Swashbuckler is probably my favorite class to play, but Swashbuckler is also the class that I have the most experience with. So I might be a little bit biased there because I've gotten up to level 18 on a Swashbuckler, but my highest level other character is like 9. But I feel like a lot of people are a little bit mixed on the Swashbuckler because, yeah, Swashbuckler's damage is a bit finicky because, of course, they can only use finishers once a round, and finishers are their main source of damage. But I've had a lot of fun as a gymnast Swashbuckler that focuses entirely on grappling and tripping. So I'm almost exclusively a support character, and I hardly ever even do damage. But just running around being stupid fast and having ridiculous bonuses on skills, and like the Daring Do feat at level 10 that allows you to roll twice and take the better on stuff. It's just a fun class that is designed for you to go out there and do stupid stuff, which is exactly what I look for in a class because that's already how I play the game. I try and do stupid stuff and then come up with a way to make that stupid game plan an actually effective strategy. So, yes, I thought, huge size scorpion monster. Yeah, I want to grapple that, please. Please and thank you. And, like, oh, the wit swashbuckler and being able to, say, use one for all and get panache while also being able to or like basically just the one for all feat is sick. Battle Dancer is actually a super cool subclass because being able to use perform for a lot of different ways to like move people around, lots of battlefield control really across the entire class, which is honestly something that not a whole lot of martials have, which I don't know, it's just fun. I like skills, and the swashbuckler is probably the second or maybe third best martial for skills. I don't know, just fun. In terms of best class design, I would probably say Monk is the best designed class in 2E. I would love some healing because I am low. Because, like, Monk's class design is just fun because of it's all focused around flexibility, I would say. Flurry of Blows allows for you to move around a lot while still being able to get additional attacks. Stances really just make the class into a Build-A-Bear sort of class where you can just mix and match different feats and it'll all work. Oh, that is the best equipment in the game. Thank you very much. That's gonna make boss fights a lot easier. 20-second cooldown on this thing is nuts. Yeah, Monk is just a lot of fun. Generally, I don't really think that there are any classes in 2E that I actually think are bad. There are just ones that are a little bit problematic in their design. Like, I think Alchemist is good. However, Alchemist requires a very solid understanding of what you're going to be fighting, and also pretty much every alchemical item. Like, if you know, oh, we're going to be fighting things that are consistently trigger their cold weakness, some stuff to other characters, or if you know, oh, we're going to be fighting a bunch of devils. Okay, that is also an amazing, really, really good boss item. If only, my egos would stop eating all of my crit damage. That would be good. Yeah, like, if you know you're going to be fighting a bunch of devils, being able to create Silver Sheen would basically increase all of your damage by, like, your entire party's martial damage by, like, what, like 5 or 10 depending on the devil? And it means that then the party doesn't have to worry about actually buying silver weapons at any point in the campaign, because they got their their alchemist in the back ready to give them all of the drugs. Wait, what? Something might be going on. Why is it buffering? I think my, oh, fun. I think my, okay. Wait a minute. What's going on? Okay. Yes, doesn't have an issue. Yeah, no, my internet connection just tanked. What is going on? I don't know if this is exactly working right now, but okay, well, regardless, this is not exactly working as intended, but you're can't do all that much about my internet connection right now. I've I decided, okay, I'm gonna stream tonight. I don't scream. I don't have the energy for it. But I decided I was gonna stream tonight, and then it turns out that, like, most of my viewers are actually around in the middle of the day, which maybe we'll keep that in mind in the future, but for now, it'll be fine. Since, again, I have no idea what I'm doing, so this is the troubleshooting stream. Okay. And this is also only the second time that I have ever streamed on YouTube. So every once in a while, an error message pops up, and I have no idea what it even means. God, I could use something to get rid of these egos. But oh yeah, but the Churgeon Alchemist, I'm never going to pronounce that right. It is good. I just feel like the one thing that it needs, because as it is, it's something where I feel like there should be more elixirs of life of various levels, so they can get access to them a bit more often. Just because, yeah, if you're going to be using that frequently enough, I feel like it should be upgraded. But the main thing is just, I wish that you could use crafting as a prerequisite for medicine feats as a, like, Churgeon. I'm never going to pronounce that right. But as that form of alchemist, I feel like it'd be nice if you could use crafting as a prerequisite for medicine feats, so you don't have to spend all of your skill increases on both crafting and medicine. It'd just be nice. And, I mean, I don't know. They're a skill-focused class. Give them more skill stuff. I should probably check how much the legendary chest is. Probably about 3,000. I can use a Hopo Feather. Let's see. Oh, 3,152. That's not that bad of a chest. I love missing my shots. Let's see. Ah. Yeah, let's check and see if there's a cave. Never. As much as I love Abyssal Depths as a map, I hate Abyssal Depths. It's one big old open room. Oh, that's great. And then, cave that goes around, and it's just annoying to actually check where all the chests are. Although, at least I'm a character with good mobility. Although, I guess kind of going back to classes, because I enjoy having something to ramble about related to Pathfinder. That's why I have a YouTube channel. I am hoping, I'd be a little bit surprised, but I'm hoping that the Thaumaturge, whenever it comes out, changes what one of my favorite classes is, because I really hope that that it really lives up to the hype that I have for it. Just, Thaumaturge is such a cool idea of, like, a character that uses the, basically, perception of how magic works. Not actually magic, but the people's idea of how magic works to, like, to actually manipulate the world, despite the fact that that's not remotely how it works. Like, I may or may not have a character in mind that is a weapon thaumaturge. A weapon thaumaturge that uses oh god, I love frame drops. My PC is not very good, by the way. But a weapon thaumaturge that uses that, like, has a one channel going down their sword that then they put, like, food coloring or just some kind of dye onto it to represent the different colors in color theory, and using that to deal more damage to people. Like, I put red food coloring onto my sword, therefore my sword is now angry, and you'll perceive it as doing more damage. Therefore, it does. And that kind of stupid stuff. Which, I don't know why, just that concept just makes me laugh, and that's kind of what I go for with character concepts. It's just stupid enough to work. Not... Oh, hopefully, we'll see what happens. Yeah, Psychic, I am really, really looking forward to, because one of my favorite subclasses from... In case you can't tell, I have a bit of a delay in the chat. But I'm really, really looking forward to seeing what the final version of the Distant Hand is for the Psychic, because telekinesis is just fun, and I like playing characters that have telekinesis. Like, the Aether Kineticist from 1E is just a super, super fun class. And I'm interested to see how it works, because as it is from the playtest, I thought that it was good. However, it still relied heavily on, it still relied pretty heavily on, like, spell attack roll stuff. And because of how spellcaster proficiency worked, I was going to be kind of worried that, like, oh, sweet, a new, I believe it was whenever you amp up the telekinetic throw or telekinetic object cantrip, you got an additional critical hit effect. And I thought, oh, that's cool. But I don't know how often a pure psychic is going to actually be critically hitting with a spell attack roll for it to actually warrant like a full cantrip. Or not a full cantrip, a focus point to amp it up. So I'm just interested to see what it finally looks like. Although, like, as much as I say, like, oh yeah, I am, oh sweet, hello Colonel Drone Man. As much as I'm interested for the Distant Hand, I'm forgetting the other one's actual names, but there's the one that is all about, like, telepathy, and I'm forgetting what it's called. That's annoying. How dare I not remember the exact name for for a class that isn't even out yet. But I think it's, yeah, the conscious thought for the psychic that is all about telepathy, because their amp for, I believe, message is just such a cool idea. And it just, because that amp was, you spend a focus point whenever you cast message, and then you can, when the ally that you used message on can then use a reaction to stride or step, and then as you heighten it, eventually they can stride, step, or strike as a reaction. So you can basically say, hey, there's an opening right now, stab, and then your ally can stab. And that's such a cool idea for like a backline character that like just controls the battlefield by telling, hey, dumbass, they're open. Which I really, really want a battlefield commander sort of class, which is basically just the martial archetype, but more. These gups are probably going to give like all the gold I need for the entire stage. But oh, yikes. Yeah, I have not been moving quite fast enough, but that's fine. I've dealt with worse situations. But just the idea of someone in the back casting spells every once in a while and then saying, oh, like providing additional bonuses and stuff, that's just fun. Like, I'm expecting this, I don't know if the psychic is going to be particularly good, but I'm expecting it to be very cool, which, in all honesty, that means it's good. If it's cool, it's good because this is a game, and cool is fun. Ideally, though, it'll be both cool and fun, but that is always the dream. Yeah. No bank card. Oh, yeah. I had a pretty interesting, or really, I guess I saw somewhere on the Paizo forums. I think it was, there was a, I don't go on the Paizo forums very much because they scare me, but, Flag up. I saw this idea for a martial class that was entirely focused on stances that sounded really interesting, where they have like a couple of different stances, but unlike monk stances, where monks are like, most monks are going to have one stance, and then that is the only stance that they use because, you know, it costs feats to get them, and you can't be in more than one at the same time. But someone had an idea for a character or a class that got access to like one basic stance, and then their subclass gave them access to another stance, and it would be like, oh, in this stance you cannot make strikes, you cannot make attacks, or you cannot make strikes, but you get a huge bonus towards athletics checks that are also attacks, so grapples, trips, that sort of stuff. So it would heavily restrict your actions while giving you huge bonuses, and you could swap in between them like once a turn, because it's, you know, as a stance. Oh, don't take away that. Don't take away my Shatter Spleen. That's one of the best items in the game. Taking an ego stage 1 is really starting to hurt everyone else and me. But someone came up with that idea as like a samurai sort of absurd, like overly stance-based character, or it might have been that, or like a ninja sort of idea. But I just saw that, I was like, oh, that's super cool. But I also know that I am a complete I am very much a martial person, in case you have not been able to pick that up over the course of watching my channel. The closest I've gotten to playing a caster is a magus, which is only somewhat related to being a caster, because you have so few spell slots. Where was the teleporter? Oh, there. I think of... Oh, see a void cradle. Okay, well that was a... Should have just done the ramp rather than tried to be fancy about it. God, I need to find a cleansing pool. I would love some pearls. And that is not actually something I want. Screw it. Yeah, let's just yeah, don't need to do anything crazy. Let's just try and obliterate. I do not want to fight a Mithrix that has 28 egos. Oh, sweet, a guillotine. I can't wait until it gets turned into another one of the egos. But I still actually have my missile launcher. Yeah, no, like, I have just always been a hit it with a stick kind of guy. Casters seem like a ton of fun. I just default to put them in a headlock as my default battle strategy in basically every game that I play. I don't know why, I just get very, very monkey brain whenever I play. And I don't know, that suits being a martial a little bit better. Although at some point I do really want to play some, like I really want to play a spell trickster. Really, probably a sorcerer spell trickster. Because just being able to modify spells on the fly and get all different types of effects just seems cool. But I don't know when exactly I'll actually get around to ever playing that character. Stay hydrated, people. Ugh. Okay. Screw you, beetle. Well, that looks like a malachite blind fest, I think. Yeah, God, get that the hell away from me. I hate those things. One second. I need to see. Is there a way for me to change latency? Or how quickly I can see chat with to see it. It doesn't look like it. Crap. Sometimes, because my short-term memory is not very good. or correction, my memory is not very good. So a lot of the time I'll say something and then like someone in chat will say, I'm like, oh, what was that? Hopefully over time my memory gets better. Hopefully. Like, just like how it's gotten so much better over the past 20 years. Okay. Oh, shot it. Huh. Thought I heard a lunar coin drop. But no, I'm just hallucinating. Gotta love me a hopo feather. Oh, there is a lunar coin. There's no way I heard that from across the map. Like, actually no way. I don't think that it's possible for me to have killed something across the map like that. Oh, maybe with an ATG. Finally some attack speed, thank God. Or I guess attack speed that isn't reliant on random crits. Oh, I don't like how little damage that that royal capacitor shot did. That's like what? I think 2000% damage? I guess that most of my items are currently in egos. Let's see. Yeah, no, like I find the actual like RP side of casters so cool. It's just the instant I get dice in my hands, I revert to being a gorilla. Despite how poorly I actually roll on dice, which is very, very poorly. So, like, I wish that I could get more into playing a caster. I just, not on the cards. Or at least, I just need to sit down for like, well, the other problem is I have way too many ideas for martial characters. So it's like, oh, but I could like go for a wizard concept that I've had in mind. Or I could go for like my third swashbuckler idea. So it's like the like 4 caster ideas I have for characters have to compete with the like 40 martials. So the odds are not in their favor. And also the people in the gaming groups I'm in generally really like playing spellcaster, so I'm like, okay, sure. If you really like playing spellcasters, go for it. I will play the frontline character that gets the shit beaten out of them every fight. Okay, well this could be potentially... Oh no, this is not going to be a problem. Or maybe not, depending on... God, getting a lot of egos is crazy. Hey, now minimum of 2 minutes until I lose both of my ATGs. As unlikely as that would be. It's actually kind of funny, like thinking on how different my first instinct is for like TTRPG characters and in like video game characters, because I like tanky, and like my go-to character is pretty much for Pathfinder 2e is tanky grappler. And and in fighting games, my go-to character is kiting, fast-moving glass cannon, and it's pretty much opposites. Oh, I hate how much my computer is dying on me whenever I'm streaming and also playing a game and having another thing running for the incredibly well done stick figure. Yeah, no, like, there's something that's just fun to me about, oh, we're playing in a, like, high magic campaign, and someone's over here summoning volcanoes to blast away their enemies. And I can put you in such a good headlock, you can't even teleport away from me. There's just something fun about that. Oh, yes, please. Just someone who has mundane skills that they are so good at that they are no longer mundane is fun. Okay. I might be able to get a cleansing pool here. I would love me a cleansing pool. Die, beetle. Oh, good lord, he's not dying. Okay. Oh, I have a level 18 swashbuckler, and it is an experience. Like a, and they basically, that swashbuckler plays like a monk. They, oh, that is very rare. Rare enough, I'm gonna take it, even though it's probably not good. Oh, that is certainly not good. Although I guess my healing isn't great, so. Oh, this is, oh, maybe I shouldn't take this. This is probably gonna crash my PC. Look at all the little explosions. There's a lot more things to render. Oh, I haven't made the connection of... I was too stuck in wrestling connections to think about heavily... or explosive death drop to be a heavily Potemkin buster. I did not think about that. Oh. I need to make Potemkin now. I need to make Potemkin now. Yeah, but I have an 18th level swashbuckler that has I think a passive 45-foot swim speed, climb speed, fly speed, and land speed, and rolls twice and takes the better on all grapple checks. It is stupid. Like, high level play is absurd, and you hear stuff that like high level characters can do, and you're like, oh my god, that must be like a complete like steamroll. But no. High level monsters have such absurd abilities. It's great. Yeah, no. Like, I've never actually played a braggart swashbuckler or seen one played, but yeah, no, they're just cool. Intimidate is already such a good skill that improving it further and then later being able to demoralize someone again after you use a finisher on them, that's just such a cool ability, especially for boss fights. Just, yeah, I can perpetually intimidate someone. Although my 18th level gymnast never leaves Panache because they just use Daring Do to grapple. So they just get into Panache and then grapple until the fight's over, and then everyone else in the party is responsible for actually dealing damage. Although the risk for a build like that is turning every fight into a little bit of a little bit too comical, because the image of the 4-foot-tall Birdman running up to the end of book boss and putting him into like a full Nelson on the ground is a little bit funny. And maybe if it's supposed to be a climactic moment, suplexing someone into the ground is maybe not the best. Okay. Was that worth it? Oh, that was actually pretty worth it. Okay. Here's the jelly. Getting close to the end of this run. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Oh, well, I said it, we were getting pretty close to the end of this run. And I wasn't wrong, was I? Well, that's fun. Didn't lose anything, though, so. That, oh god. Tree Razor is such a fun. Well, it's more that the synergy in our party is we have a champion that stops everyone from getting hit or reduces the damage that they take, and then a ruffian rogue who has preparation and opportune backstab and just stabs people as I grapple them. And it is very brutal. Let's do a commando run. Yeah. Losing runs feels a lot less bad whenever you've already unlocked everything in the game and have 166 lunar coins. Let's... any blood shrines around? I'd love a blood shrine. Yeah, like, because like I'm currently in book 3 of Agents of Edgewatch. I'm in book 6 of Agents of Edgewatch and book 3 of Abomination Vaults. I want to play the Bloodlord's AP so badly. Yeah, no. Sneak attack is so much better in 2E than it was in 1E, because 1E was just a mess of like, oh, I can't really reliably play a ranged rogue because getting flat, or not getting flat-footed, like being undetected by a target, or not undetected, but being like hidden from a target while within 30 feet of them, it's just annoying to get and almost impossible to do by yourself. And yeah, it is harder to be a ranged rogue in 2E than to be a melee rogue. But if you have someone in your party who grapples, then yeah, that's free. Or if you have a investigator with shared stratagem, there are lots of ways to be able to get flat-footed. You just have to be a little bit more creative with them. And it just, I don't know. Just saying, oh, someone is just in general, flat-footed is better in this edition than it was in 20. It's nice playing a monk and then saying, okay, well, I have a 30 AC, and if I'm flat-footed, then I have a 28 AC, rather than in 1E where it's like, oh, I have a 30 AC, and if I'm flat-footed, that's a 10, which, I may or may not have a backup character for a 1E campaign that I'm in that actually has like a 30 AC by level 5, but their flat-footed AC is garbage because their entire AC is dodge bonuses. If we're talking about stupid stuff, then you can't ignore 1E. Yeah, no, I really, really want to be a player in Bloodlords. Although, I first want to have the entire AP out, and hear exactly how they handle being undead in Nex. Because if it's trying to like change Nex and try and stop or not Nex, Geb. If it's about like trying to stop a war between Geb and Nex, then I would love that. But if it's like, oh, you're trying to kill a Bloodlord and take their place because you want to rule over the evil nation of undead, then that's, I don't know. I want to see how they execute it, because evil campaigns can be interesting, but I'm not as interested in them, because I kind of default to playing a goody two-shoes. And it'll be kind of weird to see how they execute it. Yeah, 1E has so much jank and it's beautiful. I would describe 1E Pathfinder as like seeing someone use like command line who's very good at command line. It is janky as all hell, but a lot of fun once you get used to it. Like, someone pulls up an ancient piece of software that really shouldn't be in use anymore, but somehow they make it work really well. Like, oh, there's a way to get invisibility at will at level 1? What the hell? I really hope I don't die stage 1. Oh no. I can't move. Not talking, have to focus here. Okay, let's see. Oh, well this is just gonna clear the entire... everything I'm fighting right now. I have very good damage mitigation currently. Oh, I have a bit of experience with command line and it does terrify me, but then you see someone who's really good at using it and like they execute like 5 commands without like thinking. Like, it's super impressive, but it's janky. Probably the better description is like an old game that has just really, really terrible UI. This is, of course, an over-exaggeration of things, but something like Dwarf Fortress, where it's a really interesting game that is really hard to get into. Yeah, it's just... I'm sorry for ignoring, it's just enemies. Generally I can, like, completely ignore this game while playing, but there are some times where that is not possible. I mean, most of the time that I play this game, I'm listening to a podcast. Or really, I guess, watching a podcast. I need to find out why I have a... Oh, I hate this. I hate these guys. Except apparently they can't turn. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Well, this run has been not the best. 7-minute stage 2 with these items. Let's hope for a good use item then. I mean, it's a usable use item. Starfinder. Oh yeah, I played Starfinder a while ago. Like, oh god, feels wrong to say, but like 3-4 years ago. And generally speaking, well, it is a fun game. I did not play a huge amount of it, like one campaign. That I think we went to like level 10 or something. And yeah, Vanguard is very good. I love the way that they implemented Vanguard. I actually think, I don't know if Vanguard is my favorite class. Again, speaking as someone who stopped keeping up to date with Starfinder like 4 years ago, either Vanguard or Solarian are my favorite classes. Again, Marshall boy. Yeah, no. Sometimes it's just like that with your runs. But Vanguard is the best tank like class design that I've seen. It's just a fun tank, which good lord, how do you do that? But Solarian I really like because of the whole, basically it's just the build up of charge, figuring out what exactly do you want, it's just a fun action economy sort of situation of building up and then ebbing and flowing with it. Unfortunately, at least the last time that I played, which was a very long time ago, the solar attunement was just too good in comparison to Graviton, so it was always just something where the Solarian class was the Solar Knight rather than like the Cosmic Balance Knight. Yeah, I played like one session as a Vanguard that it was very fun. It offset the pain of my character dying in the second to last session of the campaign, which sucked. But yeah, just I don't know. The other thing that I just love about Starfinder that, I mean, 2E can't really do because they're different genres, but everything is just such batshit insane. Like, Starfinder just doesn't know how to chill. So it's like, oh yeah, so the tank class is it's a class all about cosmic entropy and the inevitable decay of reality. That is the theme for the class, which is just wild. And like, fantasy generally has to be a little bit more tame than sci-fi. So sci-fi, it just goes crazy. Yeah, the other, like, I don't know. I just am now remembering things about Solarians that are just fun, because it was like, oh sweet, there's literally the ability to make portals. Oh, what if I want to have like an instant transmission Zenith Revelation? Or I could take one that's good, but because being able to move at light speed is a very cool ability, but not as immediately relevant as Big Boom. Like, specifically, I feel like, oh, thank God I got an ATG. Now I just need a ukulele. Well, now I just need a ukulele, and then I need like 3 more ukuleles. So, but like, Solarian is the only game that I've played where I saw the lines like, you move at light speed up to 900 feet away. This movement does not provoke reactions unless the target is capable of reacting to something moving that speed. And that kind of just made me giggle. Just, okay. So that implies that there are things in this system that can react to light speed travel. Okay. I'm here for it. At least everything's dead. I hate those. Oh, I missed an adaptive chest. I'm gonna get that because I won't actually have enemies to bother me, and maybe you guys will see just how terrible my reaction time is. Yeah, like, Starfinder just doesn't pull its punches, and, like, the races in Starfinder are so insane, it's amazing. Ah, crap. I saw a missile launcher, and reacted too slowly. That is a pretty good example. Just, yeah, firing disintegration beams off into space, and then, oh well, that'll hit a planet at some point. Or a random starship. Yeah. Yeah, 2E I feel is a better game for tactical combat than 1E or 2E because it is more balanced. So you win the fight by decisions that you make in combat. When, like, I'm not as familiar with Starfinder balance, so I'm not gonna try and say anything. But Pathfinder 1E, you kind of win fights in character creation. Like, if you build your character right, anything that they look at dies. Where in 2E you have to, like, you don't automatically win in character creation, you have to make good decisions in combat to be at your most effective. Both are fun. That's one thing that I feel like it doesn't necessarily always come across in my videos because I exclusively really talk about, like, oh, here's something that yes. Even though it probably killed my last run because it took like 4 crit items from me, I will always say yes to an ego. Can't wait for it to eat both, or my only missile launcher. Commando. Yeah, like, because I always talk about 2E, I feel like it comes across that, like, oh, this guy just really likes 2E. I love 1E. Even if I don't play it quite as much anymore, it is just, it's a trip, man. I would love to get more than 1 FPS, please. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, if I have anything... Oh, yes. I regret taking ego now. Oh, fucking ICBM is one of the best items in the game. So long as you have a missile item, which I do. Hopefully there's a cleansing pool on this map so I don't have to even risk losing the ICBM or the missile now. Come on. Shoot a missile at the pool. Oh, well, that's good. Yeah, that's too expensive. Ah. Yeah, pretty much the only reason why I decided to make 2E content is because I am playing in... I need to get rid of some of these shield gens. But is because I'm playing in 2 2E campaigns and 1 1E campaign. And I don't think I was even playing in the 1E campaign when I started the channel. And there's more new stuff, therefore more stuff to talk about that people haven't already talked about. I will take a Royal Caster any day of the week. If I can only get enough money. Hello, money. Yeah, this run is looking a lot better now. Are you kidding me? It actually did eat my missile. God damn it. didn't catch that until I realized I'm not shooting nearly enough missiles for how much I'm shooting. Oh no. One of the first things it took was dang ICBM. Any advice? As much as I do make a lot of content that is helpful, I am give me a second. There's a reason why I script most of my stuff. Generally, it's that, I mean, there's nothing you can do for just rolling poorly. Unfortunately, that's just true. I roll poorly all the damn time. But generally speaking, proficiency is really important. As you level up, characters are expected, like one of the few things that characters are actually expected for is just how the DCs work is they're expected to basically choose one or two skills that they're going to be putting all of their skill boosts into. And then that's just something expected that is built into the way that monster save DCs and standard DCs function, is that they have a couple of skills that they are going to be specializing in, and then they also get items that give them item bonuses to those skills. If they don't do that, then like no matter how good their strength is, they're not going to be as like consistent as, say, grappling someone or stuff like that if they don't get those items. And that's something big that I didn't quite realize at first, but it's like, yeah, proficiency matters a huge deal. Like, it's probably the biggest thing that, admittedly, I came from Pathfinder 1E, where, like, a +1 bonus to an attack roll is obviously statistically important. It is a 5% increased chance to hit, but it's not, like, anything, like, a 5% chance in or a +1 in Pathfinder 1E is good, because you can stack it with 60 other +1s to get a guaranteed hit. So whenever I saw a bunch of like feats and abilities in Pathfinder 2E that gave a +1 to hit, I was like, oh, those are pretty good, but where's the +4s? So coming to realize that the way that Pathfinder 2E's math works, +1s and +2s are actually hugely substantial bonuses. That's something that took me a little while to realize, and realize, oh, like, Demoralize is amazing, because, yeah, it only gives a +1, or, like, reduces their save DCs by 1, or their attack rolls by 1, but realizing, oh, but that really matters. That is, like, a hugely impactful debuff. So, coming to realize exactly that a lot of your actions can become very, very useful if you choose, or if you recognize just how the math works. It was something that took me like a couple of months to realize. Yeah. I love that momentum bug that I can never reliably use to my advantage and normally gets me killed. I love getting head stompers, which is the item that makes me jump higher, but boy, sometimes it sucks. Yeah, in a lot of my videos I talk about like, oh, well, here's how Pathfinder 2E does it, and then here's how Pathfinder 1E and D&D 5e do it. But then then I spend like 90% of the time talking about how 1E does it, and that's because I've played maybe 4 sessions of Pathfinder 5e in my life. Most of my exposure to how 5e works is through memes, because most TTRPG memes are based around 5e, and just through reading the rules because I'm that kind of guy. So, like, I don't have a huge amount of experience with it. I know that there are some things that it does, I'm like, not a big fan of that. But it's good for what it is, which, like, if you just want to sit down and play some D&D, it is probably one of the better systems, but if you're willing to sit down, play some D&D, and also read the rules, then I think Pathfinder 2e is better. But that is, of course, a personal opinion. God forbid I express a personal opinion on the internet. Let's see. Yeah. I've also, like, multiple times I've thought, like, oh, well, maybe I actually want to, like, try playing some 5e. And then I realized, oh, well, I just kind of want to only play a warlock. Because warlocks are actually a super well-designed class. Or rather, a more interestingly designed class than a lot of 5e classes, because you just get to make a lot more choices. And shockingly, as someone who likes Pathfinder 2e, I like making choices. So I always realize, oh, maybe I should play 5e. No, and then I realized, no, I just want to play this specific warlock character. Shush frizz. Oh, sweet, okay. Yeah. Honestly, one, like, tiny detail that 2e, or one tiny change that 2e made is that I really, really love. Yeah, warlocks are just a 2e Pathfinder class that was designed a couple years earlier. But I think Paizo still probably did 2e class design earlier with... Actually, I don't know when the Vigilante came out, but the Vigilante and the Kineticist are just 2e class designs. What was I gonna say? What was I talking about? Yeah. 5e just doesn't have a lot of customization, which admittedly for some people works, because they don't want to have to worry about the customization element, but I like customization, so. Energy drink. Okay, I thought that was the yellow printer. God, I would kill for a ukulele. That's a ukulele. Okay, sweet. I will kill for money for this ukulele. Why do I take egos? Now I have to worry about the very slim chances of it taking my new uke. Let's check how much the legendary chest is. Yeah, it's kind of funny to me that that people like people love the warlock so much, and Pathfinder 2e characters only have marginally more, like, well, no, not marginally. They have a lot more choices to make, but it's the same class design structure, just taken a little bit further. Although the one point of, like, skill fatigue, or not skill fatigue, of choice fatigue that I really do get, is, oh, thank you, I didn't want those great classes. Why do I take egos? Of, like, skill fatigue, or not, choice fatigue that I understand people getting with 2e is skill feats. Because you get a lot of them, and a lot of the time it's like, I qualify for so many of these, but none of them, like, stand out as being crazy good. Or some of them are just like, well, this is no-brainer. Of course I'll take Intimidating Glare. Oh, I know exactly what meme you're talking about. Yeah. Just... oh, wrong game. I should probably think about heading out soon. But... ukulele? Oh. second ignition tank? Come on. Yeah, now every once in a while I look at like the D&D memes subreddit, and a Discord I'm in has a ton of memes that are, even though it is almost an exclusively 2e Discord, a lot of great TTRPG memes. Or I say unfortunately, they generally use 5e terminology, just because that's what most people play. Which, I mean, fair enough. If you're like, I think that if I was going to be getting someone brand new into 5e or into a TTRPG, and I wasn't exactly sure on like how willing they are to really dig into the crunch of it, then I would probably start them off with 5e, just because it is very, very intuitive, which is important because most people want to not care as much about the math behind things as much as they want to stab a dragon. And 5e is probably one of the better systems for just straight up getting to the dragon punching. But if I knew the person or knew the group and knew that they were willing to go through the actual, like, the maybe 20% more rigmarole of figuring out how to play 2e, then it's absolutely my system of choice. And unless I knew I was like playing with second ukulele, unless I knew that I was like playing with people that were like super into crunch, I just straight up would not start a new group on Pathfinder 1e now. Because, I don't know, it's a lot. Please let me kill this guy before he kills me. Okay, good. Let me get up. Oh, that's right. I need like 4K for the legendary chest. Okay, shuriken, sweet. I don't think I have any wedding bands. Yeah, I don't. But now if I ever get any wedding bands, I can actually proc them. Now that I am now a ninja. Except I'm not streaming Fortnite. I actually have no idea what Ninja does nowadays. I just assume that he still streams exclusively Fortnite. In case you can't tell, I don't watch any streams. Yeah, I know nothing about what goes on in 5e. Except for the fact that I know that the plasmoids are now a race, and I desperately want them, or a slime race of some kind, in Pathfinder 2e, because, God, I just wanted to make a Oozemorph work in Pathfinder 1e, and there was no way. I just want Ooze Person. How much? Yeah. Like, I feel like the different racial ability score thing that like whenever Wizards of the Coast changed how racial ability scores worked in Tasha's, I think it was it Tasha's? I don't know D&D rulebooks names, but where you can like swap them around to whatever you want. Oh well, I was complaining about the that red item. Now it's gone. But they changed how they worked, and now it's whenever I saw that, I was like, oh sweet, I understand the reasoning behind it. It makes sense. But this also just seems like 2e ability scores with extra steps. Like, oh, you can swap, like, oh, you can just take some voluntary flaws and negate your, like, ancestry ability flaw, and then, okay, yeah, you can basically play any class with any race. or ancestry, because I guess I'm talking about 2e. Yeah. I am almost upset that I actually got the name of the book right, because I don't know why I'm dedicating brain space into remembering the name of rulebooks for a game I don't play. Oh, yeah, but the Oozemorph dedication was changed a lot in the transition from 1e to 2e, because in 1e it was you are literally an ooze person. Like, you can reform yourself into a bunch of different shapes. You can do a lot of stuff. Like, oh, you can form weapons out of your body in any shape, and you can, oh, they're all different types of weapons. Oh, you get resistance to X and such damage. Where the best way that I would describe Eco really is eating all of my movement speed items, huh? That sucks. The best way to describe the Oozemorph dedication and really whole archetype is it is less you are an ooze person and more you are melting, which are very different flavors. Like, I just want to be able to be an ooze all the time. Like, giving a compression ability, so it's like, oh, you can now squeeze as a character two size categories smaller than you. So you can, like, squeeze under door frames or weird horror movie stuff like that. Oh, I'm totally gonna die in this, aren't I? In my 1 frame a second Risk of Rain 2 gameplay. Oof. Yikes. Yeah, like, I have a character in mind for, like, oh, maybe I can make an Oozemorph with these stats for 1E, because I rolled for stats in a campaign that I'm in, and I rolled very, very well, and it's like, okay, if I start off with a 19 and an 18, can I make Oozemorph actually work? And the answer is, they would still be worse than, like, a character with substantially worse stats. I just want to make an ooze person work. It just opens up a lot of RP possibilities. It feels wrong that I have over 600 subscribers, considering I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. Which goes to show, if you want to make YouTube videos, the easiest thing to do is just to record something, figure out how to balance audio, and people will subscribe. As far as I can tell, that's what you need to do, and then people will show up regardless of the quality of your stuff. Like, I'm forgetting that don't think I'm gonna die here, but god damn it, it's going good. Yeah, I hate grandparents so much. The enemy, not the actual grandparents. My grandparents are wonderful, and grandparents as a concept are pretty good. Like, I forget what video was that actually. Something I released. Oh, there goes one ukulele. I might stop picking up egos now. I think I've lost 2 runs in a row to it. But I woke up because, like, normally I schedule my videos to come out at 1 p.m. Eastern time, and one video I released recently, I accidentally released it at midnight. So I was not expecting to wake up and check YouTube and then see that there was a video with like 1,000 views. And it was like solidly, or actually no, at that point it wasn't quite that good. I was like, oh, well, I messed up. Well, it's not going to do too well. And then it did insanely well. I was like, oh, that feels weird. for it to get like 3,000 views. That just feels wrong. I cannot name 3,000 people. Like, it's just fascinating thinking about the numbers that substantially larger YouTubers get. I would not even consider myself a YouTuber at this point, because I don't get paid. YouTuber is a job description. I'm a hobbyist, but but like thinking, like making YouTube videos myself has really made me think more about like, good lord, 2 million subscribers on a channel. What the hell? Like, I've already passed the population of my graduating class. For high school, not for college yet, which is disgusting to think about. I should really move on. This run does not need me to search every single section of this map. But I am on autopilot. Well, you can make YouTube videos for money. I cannot yet. And honestly, probably for like the first year, you make YouTube videos for about $10 a month. So yeah, the initial amount of, like, if you want to do YouTube for like a full-time job and you don't have like 100,000 subscribers, you need to do Patreon. Or like sponsors, because you just don't get much money from the actual videos. And you only even qualify for you only qualify for monetization once you hit 1,000. Well, there's more qualifications than that. There's 4,000 watch hours, but I hit that like a month ago, which again is fucking wild. Now, where the hell is this teleporter? I want to be there. Probably. Somewhere. Oh, on the other side, yeah. Like, I think that the estimates that I've seen are like a couple of cents a day for how much I would be making with my current amount of views. Which, that's honestly one of the main reasons why sponsorships are so good. Good lord. Yeah, demonetization is a real thing, and a big thing that I've heard is that, oh, am I gonna die? This doesn't look like it. Ugh, God. Is that a big problem is that the support, like the support team for YouTube isn't great at getting to everyone, because yeah, they're the largest video hosting service on the planet. So dealing with little old me who has yeah, so like basically what I've heard is the easiest way to deal with demonetization problems is to go on Twitter and complain about them. And then get to cause a big enough fuss on Twitter that YouTube actually listens to you. Unfortunately, I don't get social media, so I'm just hoping that isn't an issue, because generally I don't know how my videos could be. Oh, god damn it. I think, yeah, I don't have a ukulele anymore. That is, I am never taking egos again, Jesus. And then I'll take egos in the run. Because I know I have said I'll never take shaped glass again, and then I take shaped glass the next run. I don't have a problem. Yeah, I mean, I'm not expecting to do YouTube full-time for a very, very long time. If I could do it full-time, oh, that's a very lucky rusty lockbox. Nah. But if I got the opportunity to, I'd love to. It'd be scary, but I like making videos, and I generally haven't enjoyed most of the jobs I've had, so it'd be fun. But also terrifying because, yeah. Speaking as someone who has some experience in computer science, algorithms are dumb, and most of the time, they don't know what they're doing. So, having my livelihood be up for chaos and an algorithm is terrifying as someone who somewhat understands how they work. Oh, there's a void seed. I completely missed that. Yeah, it'd be really useful to have a ukulele right about now. The good thing about egos is that they are very much a lesser wisp be gone item, which gotta love. Even though I'm playing Huntress, who has a very good way to get rid of lesser wisps. Oh, I'm not playing as Huntress. What am I talking about? I'm playing as Commando. Admittedly, both are point-and-click characters, but yeah, when I say I know a little bit about algorithms, I mean, theoretically, I know a little bit about algorithms. Nothing practical. Now this is risky. That is a pretty good description, yeah, actually. What can I get here? Yes, I don't think Ego can eat that. Okay. Okay, run's looking a lot better. So long as Ego doesn't eat my pocket ICBM. I shouldn't have said that. Ego is now going to eat my pocket ICBM. Oh yeah, no, this game is... I'm not diagnosed with ADHD, but I recently learned that it runs in the family and it was just never diagnosed. So that's fun. This game is very much just a, oh, brain off colors. Ooh, yes, fun. Which is great. Especially once you know what's happening, you don't really have to consciously think about it anymore. Because, yeah, you reach a point in every run where things just die anymore and you don't know how. Which, if I had a ukulele, this run would be at that point. Well, actually, this is bad. How did they die? I don't know how that vagrant died. I didn't shoot it there. Brain off color game, good. Although this is somehow even more of a brain off color game currently because of Ego. Wait, does Ego have... Ego does have a proc coefficient. I didn't know about that. That makes it substantially better. Yeah, for a while I was using Slay the Spire as my brain off color game, which Slay the Spire is a very, very good roguelike, and not a very good brain off game. I lost a lot of runs. Because trying to force a run to be a run on the silent to be a shiv run is... Oh, that is a good point. Yeah, no, I forgot that. Yeah, that explains how the vagrant died. Yeah, if that doesn't tell you what state my brain is in, I don't know what else does. Yeah, earlier today I did another run of this just because bored. And I stood still for, I think, about half a second and I died instantly. Because I did not have egos to constantly kill everything that grew near. Oh, speaking of dying instantly. Now, who's next? That is the problem with the plasma shrimp item, is once you don't have shields, you're fucked. Now, let's go for insanity. Yeah. I mean, like, I chose to play Risk of Rain for the particular reason of I don't really have to think when playing Risk of Rain because I've played it a lot, but the real Return to Monkey game for me is absolutely either Dragon Ball FighterZ or Guilty Gear, because oh my god, I do not think a second when I'm playing those games, and it's bad. Because fighting games are shockingly games you generally want to think in, but why block when punch? Because Chip and Teen Gohan are fucking stupid. If you know, you know. Okay, let's actually get an item. As fun as it is to go snip snip with Mercenary, I should probably actually get, you know, items. That is right. Sun Tzu was a very monkey man. Yeah, in the brave words of Teen Gohan, why block when light auto combo? Oh, sweet. Gotta love a drop in my internet connection. Well, got some sick shades. Okay, these are some very good items. What's that? A 26% chance to crit? And crits increase attack speed. That's good. Let's see. I might actually just be heading out of here. I'll check up here, I guess. One chest. You will be the way I pay for my chest. Okay. Connection's back to being good. Yeah, I actually started playing fighters before I had watched Dragon Ball. And just because, like, my friends are huge, like, absurdly into Dragon Ball. And I was like, oh, well, I want to get into a fighting game. And they play a stupid amount of Dragon Ball FighterZ. So I guess I'll get it and play it with them. So it was really interesting reading all of the Dragon Ball manga and then going through Dragon Ball Abridged and finally understanding what references they had been making for like 2 years. God, playing Mercenary is weird. Oh, I've made a mistake. I was not paying attention to the Vagrant's health, and I used my invincibility move at the very wrong time. That's how you're supposed to use it here. Yeah, no, Risk of Rain 1 is fun. I think I eventually got all artifacts in it, and good lord, the best strategy for that is so dumb, and it's like almost guaranteed. No, actually, no, it is actually guaranteed, because I think to unlock, God, who do you? I think it was Mercenary that you unlocked in that game by. Yeah, no, Risk of Rain 1 was a experience. Oh God, I maybe shouldn't be talking about this during this point in the run. Yeah, bye. Yeah, the strategy for getting all, completing the game with every single artifact active was restart until the artifact of kin guaranteed you only got jellyfish on stage 1. And then, because jellyfish couldn't be elites, so then that negated the, oh, what is that? It's not pride? Honor, that's it. Yeah. So you wouldn't run into any elites, and then you would just sit there and wait for items to spawn. Any white items became barbed wire, and eventually, after about 30 minutes of grinding, or maybe less, maybe it was only like 20, you would have like 40 barbed wire, and the barbed wire did constant damage to everything within the radius, and with each stack of barbed wire that you got, the radius got larger and the damage went up. So once you get like 40, the radius of damage was larger than your screen and one-shot everything. And then you just walked through the rest of the game. But boy did it chug. I think I did that like on like a summer vacation on a very out-of-date laptop that it hurt to touch the keyboard because it was getting too hot. Okay, let's remember to actually play the game and not just snip snap. Oh no. Also, goddamn missile elites. I'm so happy that missile elites are not a thing in Risk of Rain 2. Oh yeah, also the good old days of Artifact of Glass and taking Infusion. That's kind of sad that Infusion is not good in this game. Oh, what's wrong with rambling? Nothing. I hope. Because that's mostly what I do. Ever since I've started, like, changing up the way that I record my videos and doing the whole 3D thing, it is kind of funny seeing, like, writing a script and then recording a video and then going back and actually listening to what I say. And it's like, oh, okay, I loosely followed the script because I can't see it anymore. So I kind of just go. I take a glance at what I wrote down for myself to say, and then I just ignore it. I have played Hades, and oh my god, it's amazing. But unfortunately, I bought it on the Switch, and then my Pro Controller started to drift. So that game is pretty hard to play with drift. One of these days, I'm going to get it on PC and then just transfer my save data over so I can use a better controller. Because I never got everything. I mean, I beat the game. I got like 10 clears. Got the thing that happened, but god, that game is just so good. Like, they didn't have to create an incredibly satisfying gameplay loop and then add a really good story and then add a good fishing minigame and then add an amazing soundtrack, and then no. Well, more of the issue with like cue cards and all that is because I record the videos now in VR, and my computer is not good enough to run VR. So I don't want to make my computer catch on fire by also like asking it to do anything else other than record and run VR chat. So I genuinely feel like it would light on fire if I ask it to do anything else. Like my graphics card is a 1050 Ti, and my CPU is absolute garbage. Like, in general, my setup for recording YouTube videos is as, like, jank as physically possible. Because money. And besides, like, even when I was, like, not, in VR doing things, I need to kill those mending elites. Oh my god. I can't actually kill this Titan with them here. Yeah, but even before I started doing my runs, because I am incapable of following any kind of script, to the vast annoyance of anyone that I was ever working with for a presentation in school. Fortunately for them, I was better than most of them at actually public speaking. But it's just, I don't know. I generally write the exact same way that I talk, but if you ask me to say the same thing twice, I will say it in different ways. So it's just the way that I am, that I don't follow scripts. But unless I write out a script, then I won't know what I'm talking about. So I use my scripts as more of a loose... Yeah, unfortunately, my internet connection just sometimes dies, so there's not much I can really do about it. I share a building with a lot of college students, and it is a Monday night, and they don't have classes. So, yeah. So, internet just sometimes is going to die on, which is fun. And, no joke, still with this internet connection, it's probably the best I've ever had access to. Copper wiring is, hell. I've once had 17,000 ping in a game. Yeah. My scripts are loose guides of like, okay, here's the order that I want to cover the topics of this video. Because I learned very quickly on that I am just never going to completely follow one of my own scripts. So just don't try. Ooh, that is a good item. Yeah, no, really, my internet connection, like, shouldn't be this bad, but I'm just sharing it. Well, I'm not sharing it with a huge amount of people, but it's just, it is a area that has a lot of problems. And also, it's not, like, Ethernet or anything, so, yeah. The router isn't in my room, etc. There's just a bunch of stuff going on. But I've been conditioned to not complain. Because, yeah, growing up in the middle of nowhere, where AT&T refuses to improve our connection, sucks. For most of my life, the best download I ever saw was like a 7. Uh, and normally like a 0.5 upload. So I think that I've gotten better at improv. Once I've realized that generally just talking works. I don't think that I'm like, if I try to be funny, then I don't think that I am very good at improv, but if I just talk and say stuff and then am self-deprecating about the stupid stuff that I say, then that works as comedy. Because I do that normally anyway. I don't play Mercenary much, but boy, is he satisfying. Let's see. Let's go for that. Yeah, no. Actually, I should say, I had better internet connection when I was living on campus. But that's kind of unfair. And also, I either had better internet connection or no internet connection because, yeah, exam season, internet connection just completely died. Especially whenever everyone's classes were online. During, like, the class days, when everyone was tuning in over Zoom, it was bad. Because, yeah, I'm a youngin'. It's kind of funny looking at my, like, viewer demographics and saying, oh, wow, huh. I'm younger than most of my viewers. Which, to be fair, like, in every single, like, actual, like, tabletop group that I'm in, I am the youngest person. Everyone's talking about, like, having kids, and I'm like, oh, yeah, sure. I'm not that young. I'm not a complete Zoomer, but... Oh god, I hate frame drops in boss fights. Also, just fighting magma worm as mercenary sucks. Well, either sucks or it's very cool. But, yeah. Well, yeah, I am a zoomer, but I'm not, like, a super zoomer. And part of me wonders how much of that was because of how bad my internet connection was. Good old Sunken Grove. Oh, how I miss when ye were not a thing. Die already, please. Thank you. Oh god, there's also a Void Seed. Didn't even realize that. Until the purple guys started showing up. Oh god, it's gotten to the point where I said purple, my first thought was FNAF. Oh, Generations being weird? Or I'm guessing based off the time delay that your comment was about generations being weird. I really need to figure that out. I think it's an option I turned on for one stream and then regretted it. It's just something where it's like, people always talk about like Zoomers and millennials and all that, but what it comes down to is that, of course, everyone is an individual, and it's just a situation where, like, I don't know. Generalizing broad groups of people doesn't work very well most of the time, but we do it all the time regardless. Yeah, no, there's like a 30-second-ish delay between anytime that someone posts something in chat and whenever I actually see it. Which I feel is not as big of a deal if you are a big streamer that has many viewers. Oh, Sunken Grove. Oh, enemies here just suck. Just a lot of very high health enemies that take a long time to kill, and in Risk of Rain that is awful. And now, with the most recent, oh good lord, you're kind of seeing why now. Bunches of just stupid amounts of enemies that take a long time to kill, or just have high health, low damage. So it's just annoying when compared to the other stages. And like, yeah, you can get a free legendary, but you get that with every, you get that with every stage 4, and also it's just annoying, like, oh, well, yeah, you can get a free, or not a free, a guaranteed legendary, but it's also at a random location where Abyssal Depths, it's always in the exact same spot, so you don't have to go looking for it. Oh god. Shopping? I need healing on this run so bad. Only one void left. I said healing, not invisibility. Really what this run needs is more crit. I either need more healing or way more damage. Ow. Screw you, Gup. Yeah, like mushrooms have the ability to self-heal. Oh, okay, yeah. Good old collapse. Exactly. You don't need healing if they're dead. Yeah, I've got one more run in me. Let's cheat. Yeah, pretty much the priority in items, at least in my experience, is damage items are most important, followed by damage items, then movement speed items, and then last is healing. But you always need some healing because you will take chip damage. But you don't take chip damage if they're dead. And you need movement speed just to be able to get around quickly so you can actually loot in time. Actually, yeah, speaking of One Punch Man, meet One Punch Girl. And One Shot Girl, apparently, with that. Okay. There's the teleporter. Got a goat hoof. I am so bad at movement on loader. Is it weird that I like the taste of cold tea better than hot tea? Like room temperature tea. Like, maybe that's just because I've never had iced tea, but... Okay, let's get some money. Let's gamble. Should have gambled. RPGs? That's fun. Back in freshman year of high school, a friend of mine, well, kind of friend, more like a friend of a friend, wanted to, like, they had a bunch of old books from their dad of, I think it was maybe 2nd edition D&D, and then we got together to play 2nd edition D&D, and literally no one understood what was going on. And we did not follow the rules remotely. It was pretty much more of a roll a d20 and then if it's high it works sort of game that lasted, I think, like 2 sessions. And then I think we had a couple of things that were very just, again, roll a d20, we'll see if it works sort of situations. And then eventually they said, oh, well, let's play Pathfinder. And I was like, oh, sweet. Oh, all the rules are online. Oh, sweet. I can, like, oh, I don't have to deal with, like, very old books. And then that I didn't actually bother to really read because no one else was. So, oh, there's a bunch of stuff, and oh, I can read all of this during school when I should be paying attention. So then I got, like, really into it, and I'm like, oh, this is and this was, of course, this was Pathfinder 1e. And I got, like, super into it, built a monk Zencher, I think was my first character. Was not built correctly. But built more correctly than any other character, and that campaign ended after 2 sessions. And then I was like, God damn it, this is cool. And then at that point, that's when I started trying to find games on Roll20. And I pretty much have exclusively played online. Because, yeah, living kind of a bit out into the country, there are not a whole lot of places to go and play games in person whenever you are a freshman and you do not have a car. So, I know the pain of trying to find a decent group online. It is painful. And then, God, I've been in and out of a bunch of groups since then. And then somehow I've found, like, 3 separate stable groups, which is shocking. But in terms of, like, actual, like, in general RPGs rather than just TTRPGs, I think the first RPG I ever played was Oblivion, because Skyrim was going to be coming out. And me and my brother were very excited for Skyrim. And we were like a GameStop while we were traveling or something, and we found a copy of Oblivion. We're like, oh, Elder Scrolls, oh, that's cool. And then we bought that and had a bunch of fun in Oblivion, and then I played more Oblivion than I did Skyrim. Yeah, I feel like it's just kind of what you get into first in terms of in person versus like not in person, because they're very different experiences. If you're looking for just casual, let's fuck around and have some fun, I feel like in person is probably better. But there are just so many conveniences for playing online that I'm just addicted to now. Online character sheets, I am convinced, are better. And having dice rollers is so good whenever someone has to make 30 rolls in one turn. 2E's fun. Or 1E is fun. 2E specifically does not allow you to make 30 rolls in one turn. Paizo learned. Yeah, I've not played, like, honestly, I'm not all that into, like, most RPGs. Like, I don't roleplay all that much, actually, in video games. I've just never really been able to get all that into it. Which is weird, because I really, really like TRPGs. Yeah, no, my parents are nerdy in a sense, but not like D&D nerdy. More nerdy as in their date nights were watching Star Trek. So, yeah. I pretty much inherited all of, like, video game nerdy stuff. Or more, I guess, modern. Specifically, I don't know. Calling Star Trek nerdy now just feels wrong. But, like, pretty much my entire video gaming taste is based off of my brother's, because I got to play all of the games that he bought. So or like, oh, we only had one computer in the house. But he's the one who bought Minecraft. So I'm gonna sit there and watch him play Minecraft. So now I like Minecraft. Very little brother syndrome. But hey, actually it's good taste in video games. Oh yeah, no, like the difference between TTRPGs and traditional like computer RPGs is so big. Just because who knew that talking to a real person rather than a pre-built program is a very significant difference. There's also the fact that I just have a bad, unless it's a game like this, which is very constantly in your face, I have a bad habit of just like, oh, I'll play this game, and then playing it for like 4 hours and then forgetting it exists. Yeah, that should. That is a weird chest. Loader is so broken. Like, I can absolutely get into stories in video games. They're, like, some of my favorite games I love because of the story. It's just, whenever you have to not write one character specifically, or a story, whenever you have to write a story that specifically involves or is revolving around a character, oh, what was weird? this is the chest I was talking about. It is inside of the teleporter. So I thought it was a drone, but it's just weird, because it's just clipping. But video game stories, like for a lot of role-playing games, or at least a lot of the role-playing games that I at least started playing, are kind of built with a cookie-cutter sort of character in mind, and I just never really jived with a lot of those. But then it's like, something like Celeste's story is so good. And this is probably a little bit weird if you know Breath of the Wild. I love Breath of the Wild story. It is completely bare bones, but it works because it fits with the game. But so it's just kind of funny to me where people were like, oh, there's not enough story in Breath of the Wild. I'm like, oh no, perfect storyline. I guess it's something where there's the difference between plot and story, where like a lot of, like, for example, like JRPGs are a lot of JRPGs are very plot focused, I feel. As someone, I say as someone who has not played many JRPGs, but they feel very plot focused, where a lot of, like, something like, where just a lot of games are the vibe of the story is good. As terrible of a descriptor as that is, where it's just like, oh, the actual events of the game don't matter nearly as much as what's trying to say. Oh lord, that's a big frame crunch. Oh, yikes. Oh, that's a long-lasting one. Okay, well, I should probably deal with you. Yeah, ouch. I hate collapse with a burning passion. And I need... Thank you. God, that something else killed that. Yeah, where it's like, I don't know, Breath of the Wild does not have much of a story or like a plot, but boy does it feel good. Because the story of the game to me is more just like, ah, you're just fucking around. It's a story of exploration and just well, exploration is really the key of it, but I don't know, it's fun. But then it's like, oh, story focused game? Nah. Oh. Ow. Okay. Maybe I should move away from where I literally spawned into this map. No, I don't really want to give up any of my greens. There's so few chests here. Yeah, I don't know why I've just never been able, like, give me a character to put my shoes into, and I'm totally down for it. But if you ask me to make my own character in a, specifically, yeah, I guess I do kind of like railroad plots more, rather than something where I have to create the character motivations. Or maybe it's just a lot of the time, if you're focusing on writing one particular character rather than a bunch of different dialogue options, that one particular character's dialogue is going to be better. Because you're writing the dialogue specifically for this one character. So, like, I don't know. Like, I own the Pathfinder Kingmaker RPG, but I've just never really been able to get into it. Although part of that was just because it feels wrong playing Pathfinder in real-time combat. But even after I installed like the mod that gives the turn-based combat back, it never party to be slotted in because yeah, they're not going to expect like that's what an adventure path is. They are forced to be cookie cutter because they don't know what party is going to be doing it. I just was never able to get into it, but I feel like if I just played Kingmaker, I would love it. Which, I don't know. Who knew that talking to actual people's better? Okay. Where? Oh, yeah. Oh, frame drop. Oh, God. And I have no idea what's causing these frame drops. They just happen. And, yeah. If I'm doing literally anything else on my PC, it kind of dies. I shouldn't be taking this long, but At least the boss fights are easy on loader. Now I wonder if I can actually out-tank them. Just get in here. Oh, that is a no from me. I think I might die here. We'll see. How? Not my proudest moment. Although this should help a bit. Yeah, like, the actual concept of Kingmaker I love. It's just, CRPGs aren't really my thing, I guess. Like, I legitimately regret reading the Iron Fang Invasion adventure path, because I was thinking, oh, I mean, it sounds like a really cool concept that I think I'd be down for running that, because I think I made that decision around the point where I had a lot of experience with finding groups online and then not liking, and then them collapsing. So I was thinking, okay, well, if you don't like the way someone else is doing it, you gotta do it yourself. So I guess I'll be like, I'll read a couple of APs and then figure out which one I want to run. And I thought, oh, this seems like a really fun AP. Let's check it out. And then I never ended up deciding to run it. But now I'm thinking, oh, but now I know, like, far too many intimate plot details. Despite the fact that it is totally my jam. Although I guess I could always just not metagame. I also read it like 4 or 5 years ago, so there's only so much I actually remember of like broad plot strokes, which you can probably also just get from accidentally clicking somewhere on Paizo's website and seeing the description of the AP. Yeah, Iron Fang Invasion is a very, very old school it's a very old school style AP, because it's very much you're going out into the wilderness, you're going to be fighting a bunch of hobgoblins. I forget exactly what classic Dungeons and Dragons like adventure it's based on. It's one of the super classic ones. Yeah, finding a group online finding a consistent group to play Pathfinder with anywhere is a nightmare. Because, yeah, people are flaky, they don't show up, or just the good old bane of every TTRPG player's existence, scheduling problems. But somehow one group of men has generally been able to meet weekly for like a year and a half or 2 years, and I'm still in shock. Although recently we've been having some problem. That's more of a the GM has a very, very busy work, and they also like half the people at their workplace got COVID, so that's a slight issue. But generally, like, I think one of the Abomination Vaults group I'm in hasn't missed a single day. Or a single session, which is... Actually, we might have missed one for, like, the winter holidays. But it's still insane. Who knew that getting onto a Discord with a bunch of super Pathfinder nerds means that playing Pathfinder is easier? And where is this legendary? 3 gold. I've kind of forgotten that I should be looting. Let's see. Shipping request form is pretty good. Yeah, see, I play in 3 different campaigns, and one of my favorite pastimes is theory crafting PCs. It never ends. There's always more theory crafting to be done. Yeah. There was like a period of like 3 years where I wasn't able to find a consistent group that really sucked. Or, oh, here's a very consistent group, and then the GM just leaves out of nowhere after like 7 months. Oh, sweet, that is the best equipment in the game. I might be going to Mithrix with this run because I'm tired. That'll be sooner. Although, I hate fighting Mithrix's loader. Just melee Mithrix is rough. Yeah, they're now dead, but I had a Magus character where I started realizing, is there a way to be able to cast every cantrip in the game with one character? Because I think I had a total of like 13 cantrips that I could cast at once. Which is a kind of insane amount, even if like a first level mage hand is not necessarily the most useful thing in the world. Okay, so 3,683. I see a gup, aka money. Probably just farm during the actual teleporter event. Yeah, there are a lot of cantrips, but the thing is there's a lot of different items that you can get that allow you to cast a cantrip. Like, Hand of the Mage gives you Mage Hand. So, Hand of the Mage gives you Mage Hand. I think Hat of the Magi gives Prestidigitation. You can get detect magic from arcane sense. There's just yeah, I don't think it's possible to be able to cast everything, but maybe with free archetype, and then just grabbing a bunch of different spellcasting dedications, because each dedication generally gives you 2 different cantrips that you can cast. So you can probably fit like 4, maybe 6, depending on the archetype, of course, into a level 20 character. So I don't believe, yeah, like that Magus was a fetchling, and the bright fetchling heritage gives light and dancing lights as cantrips, and then there is a ancestry feat that gives access to 1 occult cantrip. So then that is 1 ancestry and 1 ancestry feat that gives access to 3 different cantrips. So it was like, I wonder how many I can cast. And then you can get like 2 from a cleric dedication, 1 from a witch. You might be able to get some from like a sorcerer dedication or something. There's a lot of stupid builds that I would like to do at some point. Because like min-maxing is fun, but min-maxing for entirely pointless things is even better. Like, unfortunately this character died before I could do it, but for that fetchling Magus, I had the idea of how many items or how many bulk can I store on my character without it being obvious that they're carrying them. So like in extra dimensional spaces, not including bags of holding, because obviously bags of holding you can carry a ridiculous amount. But I had figured out, that'll save the run. But I had figured out that the Spirit Sheath, yes please. God, the bank card is overpowered. Do I have enough for this? Do here. Where, yeah, so if I had the Spirit Sheath feat, that allows you to store 1 weapon extra dimensionally, and so that's 1 bulk. And then you get the what is it called? Sleeves of storage, so you can fit 4 bulk in your sleeves. And then you get the Hauling Shadow ancestry feat, so you can store up to 2 bulk in your shadow. So you can carry around 7 bulk in your sleeves and your shadow. And it's just a very stupid build that is funny. Min-maxing for not damage, but carrying capacity that doesn't care about strength. Okay, let's actually get up here and deal with this guy. I just need to get on him. Oh god, frame drop. Gotta love frame drops, man. I wish I knew what caused these. If like I watch YouTube, oh yeah, that's frame drops. Ow. God, grandparents hurt. Oh, I am glad that I got a Dios. That would have been unfortunate, dying just because I am tired and wanted to punch. Let's see. How... I mean, now that I have a bank card, this run is stupid. I mean, you can definitely make a cleric work with a low wisdom. You just avoid casting spells that require like spell attack rolls or DCs, and God, like Bless doesn't care about that, and Bless is good. Good to know. Shoot it. Huh. Another bank card. Yeah, I'm... Goblin mixed with Torak. That would be... Oh, God. A character idea that I have for the Shadows at Sunset adventure path. Not adventure path, it's just an adventure. Because one of my groups is going to be playing that before we move on to Outlaws of Alkenstar. Has an 8 strength, or not an 8 strength, an 8 wisdom. Or at least I'm considering the possibility of an 8 wisdom. And part of it is just because I want to see my group's horror upon seeing an 8 wisdom martial character. After it became a running joke that my Magus that died had a 10 wisdom and failed every single perception check in the AP. Just joke's on you, suckers. I can go lower. Yeah, actually, let's go for it. Let's go for Mithrix. Yeah, I've never actually played with it, but there is the Ancestry Paragon variant rule, which gives you additional ancestry feats. I'm forgetting the exact details of how many it gives you or what levels they are. How many ancestry feats do you get that are thing is, ancestry feats are not created equally. They vary drastically in how good they are. Some of them give you a cantrip, which by itself, giving you a cantrip is as good as a skill feat if you think about something like Arcane Sense, which Arcane Sense literally just gives you detect magic. Oh god, that is a lot better than I thought then. Oh, okay. Maybe Ancestry Paragon is a little bit overtuned. Oh, I love going over hill and seeing Blazing Elder Lemurian. Like, generally, I would actually say that Ancestry feats are better than skill feats. Generally speaking. There are absolutely some Ancestry feats that are some real stinkers. But generally speaking, there are some incredibly strong ones. Or at least incredibly situationally powerful. Like, build defining. Like, most characters are not going to get a huge amount of use out of this. But, like, for example, halflings, there's a ancestry feat where they can hide behind a creature that is larger than them. That is very good. But again, you kind of have to build a character around it. I had a half-elven ranger for a play-by-post game that fell through because, I mean, the GM just had a lot of stuff going on in his life, so fair enough. But they were a hyper-specialized sniper specifically for forested terrain, because the forest stealth elf feat is broken as all hell. One action to take cover and then an action to hide is crazy to give onto a ranger. But of course it only works in specifically forested terrain. That's fun. And it's not very often that Paizo actually, like, goes ahead and says, yeah, we kind of made this busted. Normally it's something where they say, oh, give less loot whenever there's a balance change. That is fair. This character was built to shoot at people from, like, 480 feet away without taking a range penalty. Which, speaking as someone who has shot bow and arrows before, that is stupid. If you say that, like, oh, martial characters don't do anything crazy at low levels, shooting that far of a distance without getting, like, a -10 is unrealistic, which is good because we're playing a fantasy game. Oh, Wondercoin. You know, I said we were going to Mithrix, and then I think by muscle memory, I decided we're not going to Mithrix. That's fun. Maybe there will be at least one run today that doesn't, as they say, eat shit and die. Boy, I'm tired of them. Yeah, I am very much not an old guy, but boy, is my sleep schedule an old guy. Passing out at 10 o'clock. Let's see. Let's take 20% damage boost. Still upset about that commando run. ATG missile launchers and yep. And then Ego ate them both. All that shrine is just clearly not working. Oh yeah, no, like I know that objectively speaking, my sleep schedule is pretty good. But it's also something where there are absolutely times where I would like to be able to stay up, and I can't. Because I will just fall asleep. No matter what is going on. Like, I have a Pathfinder game on Fridays that generally goes to like 11 or 11:30, and boy, do I just not remember what happens in the last hour. Yeah, no, that is one thing, is there are particular ancestries where it feels like, oh, but I need all of these to fulfill my fantasy. Yeah. And again, not all ancestries are made equal, because some ancestries have completely busted feats, and others don't. Also, if you do want more ancestry feats, you could always play an Ancestor's Oracle. Good evening. Unfortunately, I'm going to be passing out shortly. But it's good to have you here. I may have hit one too many mountain shrines. regenerating scrap is pretty good if I actually run into a scrapper. And remember that I have regenerating scrap. Well, you say that tieflings aren't busted. But I mean, who else can literally go one step further beyond? I'm still trying desperately to come up with a way that I can ever use the final form feat. It's so funny, but level 17, you don't see very often. Like, I have a level 18 character, but I feel like the odds of that character dying are actually pretty low, because once you get a level 18 party together that, like, fits, they just eviscerate everything that they run into contact with. And there just aren't all that many high level, or common ways to play super high level. I mean, sometimes the family trees get mixed. So a angelic sorcerer dwarf tiefling is, I mean, yeah. Family gatherings must be fun. No, but I don't have money for it, just. The final form feat is based. Let's see. There's the tally. Oh, thank God. The only reason why I'm still alive is because I'm a loader. I mean, you never know. Maybe they like it. A quite literal angel on one shoulder, devil on the other. Okay, very, very good stage for finally getting a ukulele and an ATG. And so many glasses. 3 crit glasses on one stage? I will not complain. Okay. I've been thinking about maybe trying to do something like this once a week, because, I mean, I have other stuff that I need to be doing, and honestly, streaming is, exhausting. Talking for almost 3 hours straight does that to you. But I've been thinking about trying to find, like, one time a week to fit one in. I play enough of this game already, might as well make content out of it. Although, I don't know what time I'll be doing it. I'll just need to figure out what time works the best for me. Come on. I don't want to die to this. Okay. I mean, I feel like Caden would respect it. Okay, if I'm being honest, this is generally what I'm doing at about this time of night. Except that instead of having a stream up, I have a YouTube video on my other monitor. And then thinking, okay. Okay, I need to go to sleep. Generally, I try to, you know, get started on like a night routine and all that by like 9:30 EST, but the lofty dreams, you know? Although this should be the last stage. Well, no, this is the last stage. But hopefully the last stage in a good way. Zonk the hell out. Yeah, no. I used to be a lot better about being actually falling asleep on time, but it's rough. Especially because I wake up at 6. Stuff got kind of crazy here for a second. Okay. That is a legendary chest. Okay. Thought I recognized that from like the 6 times I've ever seen one. Randomly spawn like that. I mean, it doesn't really matter because I almost certainly have the stage 8. Yeah, everything's just dead. Although I guess that's not necessarily true, except that Loader has ridiculous mobility, so the downsides of being in melee are pretty much non-existent. Melee accurate at this point is in a rough spot, though. Why am I still so so into looting, even though it doesn't really matter? Just 2 more. Just 2 more and I'll quit. Okay, and now pretty much won. Well, I guess that there is a chance, technically, that I could die here. It's just an extraordinarily low chance. Okay, now remember to use the... Oh, yeah, I got a Frost Relic. which is an item that killing it whenever I kill something, I get a AoE field around me that does damage to anything that gets close, which is pretty good for melee. But that'll be it for this stream because I am very tired. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. This actually got a lot more attention than I was expecting because I was expecting no one to show up. So thanks for being here, and I will see you whenever I do one of these next, or whenever or I guess I should probably do this the way that I intended to, or always do it. Until I see you next, live a wonderful life.